So, as you already know in the newsletters and on my messages on LinkedIn, today I want to guide you, talk to you about how you can implement the possibilities and opportunities from AI chatbots into your business, daily business. And just a second to approve everyone. Okay. So how can AI chat help in your company business? And we are, of course, IT company here at Studio Present, but this webinar is not exclusively for IT companies. It can apply to a variety of businesses, like any business who is having the HR, finance, sales, who producing something, selling something, having services. So this can be applied on the variety of things and businesses. Okay, and this is the table of contents. You will be able to check it later, but I will start with the first section, talk to your company. So basically in this section I will talk mostly about that with AI chatbots you have like one universal person who knows everything about your company, what you learned, that service about your company. And I will start with one like real example where you have one typical day and you receive one request of your client that there is some need for modification or some additional feature, and you as a project manager or a project leader, you maybe know somewhere in the corner of your brain that some day before you work on that feature, but maybe not, maybe what's similar. And the traditional way will be like you are searching through your email history or in your task boards, your issue boards. It can take time, of course. You are dealing with multiple queries. You are trying to find like this, like that. You're rephrasing it, and those searches are not so well. Then you can go through some project documentation in SharePoint, Google Documents, that again taking some time. You write a question. We have, for example, in Studio Present, we are using Google Chat, and we have developer channels where I can write, hey guys, did we implemented this feature 1 year before? And then you need to wait for response, and someone is on the vacation, someone can see your message in that period. And you can also schedule a meeting with your developers and your members and ask them, but in that case you are wasting with the question marks their time, because if you bring 4 people, that is 4 hours in some room discussing something that can be, for example, one email, or can be shortened with the help of AI. And now, as you are familiar, of course, I hope you are using ChatGPT or Claude or similar for everyday questions or general information, and I know that you are accommodated to this kind of answer that AI is getting to you. So in our example, I will ask how we ever customize product X to work in extremely humid condition, and AI will, as politely as they can, answer us, yes, 2 years ago the team from Novi Sad worked on similar modification for a client. I also found technical report with implementation details, CAD drawings of customized components, contact of the engineer who led the project, cost and time analysis. Which of these pieces of information will you retrieve first? So this kind of deep structured answer can help you a lot to get most of the internal knowledge that you can imagine, and it's answered like in a 3 seconds. You don't need to ask anyone, because everything is in your company, in your data, if you fed your system with this kind of data. So this is not like any science fiction. This is reality, and we are using this power of AI in our company, of course. And everything what you have in your company, like documentation, technical specification, catalogs, product sheets, details of some features, and every meeting notes, for example, it can be like fed into the systems and be part of your company, and it can help you get good answers, but you need to like feed your system with those kind of information. And AI, of course, understands then the context of your work, knows your role and access permission. Of course, if you implement this kind of system in your company, because you already have in your company hierarchy in the roles, it also can be applied to the hierarchy of the information that some user can retrieve from the AI system. Very important part is that you need to feed the AI system with a one language, for example, only on English or only on Portuguese, but you can ask on any available languages in those models that you are using. That is the big power of this. Later you need to translator, you need to use Google Translate. That is not good, but these large language models, this is solved tremendously, and we also implement this kind of behavior only with English content in our smart Pierre wiki page. I will show you that later. And it's also can connect the information from different various sources. It can be connected, for example, to Google Drive, to SharePoint. It can be connected to your ERP system, CRM system, also the local network drive if your company is based on those kind of structure. And as we seen in slide before, it gets you concrete, actionable answers. And this is everything done through the simple chat interface and not some UI, complicated UI interface like Word, for example, or something like that. It's just one line, press enter, get the answer. And I can show you one more like example. So someone from the office will ask it loud or in their head, where was the document, what was the procedure, and with just natural conversation with the system, it knows your company, you can get a good answer, same as most senior employee in your company. That is the biggest power of AI in a sense of efficiency, where that can help you in your business. Of course, you cannot ditch people from company. This is not meant to be the presentation about how to cut cost with the people and do not hire anyone else. But with this like technical information and getting answers fast, getting answers from the documents, getting answers from everything what is written, AI is much efficient than the human. So how AI understands context and natural language. In 2022, I think the major breakthrough occurred in development of artificial intelligence, specifically in large language models. So this was the combination of good progress in advanced algorithms. Then NVIDIA gave us powerful computing capabilities, and market started to paying for these kind of services. Maybe someone of you tried, for example, service like Duolingo, where you can learn new language with this owl, green owl, right? So they already started to using AI like 7 years ago or 5 years ago, but it was not like moment in this kind of conditions like price technology to offer that kind of I will not say freedom, but availability to everyone, like ChatGPT did. So those were the beginning days of the AI, but nobody was talking, hey, AI is behind that, or large language model is behind that. But now there are thousands and thousands of services similar like Duolingo, where the ChatGPT or OpenAI as a company is a wrapper around that service, and it's targeting some specific niche. Duolingo was language, someone else targeting the programmers, someone else targeting the image generation, video editing, and so far. But the most important thing about large language models is that they are trained and they are like educated based on everything that is published on the internet, every book written. So you can ask any question and you can almost guarantee to receive a highly relevant answer. We will speak about this relevant answer later. There is one anecdote, but the quality of the answer depends on the algorithm, and as I said, the information the model was trained on, and the most important is how good you crafted the question. So as we, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, the like mature guys told us that you need to know how to Google. You need to know how to answer the good question to Google to get the relevant information. This is very similar to the prompting, to what you write to the AI. So you need to be, of course, first expert of that field. If you are expert of the question you are asking or the field you are asking, your answer will be much, much better. So now it's not like enough to know how to Google. You also need to know how to craft your question. And on the X network or Twitter, there is a lot of good examples how you can prompt your structure or engineering your prompt to get good answers. So in essential, I'm speaking now only about ChatGPT from the OpenAI, but there is also a closed like services and open source models, paid models, free models. Now there are models can even be installed on the fast laptops, so you don't need to have like multi-thousand servers or GPU power. And you can also use the paid models, but restrict them only to your data. And this is what we do in the Cortex Wiki. And we use OpenAI, and we fed it with our data for SmartPierre. So we are using the engine from OpenAI, but we are strictly don't letting it go outside to the internet. We are just like squaring them to use only the data we provide to them. So this can be applied also on your business. In a Cortex Wiki, we made like a settings page where you can change your models. So for example, some client wants how ChatGPT getting answers. Someone else, for example, who is in the programmer world, likes Claude more because it's like better optimized for programming. Someone else wants DeepSeek, for example, because it's lower cost, and it's depending basically on your like wishes. The good thing here, so one example of this prompt engineering that I spoke before, is that you can ask AI to get you the answer like some expert from the field, or for example some famous mathematician or physicist like Albert Einstein. You can try to ask, hey, answer me like this and that, or in this and that style, and I'm certainly that you will be getting great answers and great ideas when you try to do this. The next chapter is like, as I already mentioned you, the Google search. So this is change fundamentally. One of the first services that I learned about is the Perplexity. So Perplexity is a great example of how some successor of Google can be like, and they're one among the first who implemented AI with a combination of the search of the internet. Now ChatGPT also have it, Claude have it, so they are combining search of the internet, classic search, and what they learned from their knowledge base, what they fed off. You know that term that coined my adulthood or childhood is that you need to Google it, or Googling is one of the words that I think we will know the rest of our lives. But the new generation, like my son from 4 years old, he's already asking me, let's ask ChatGPT or let's ask AI, because we are playing a lot of it. So I think maybe they will not know about Googling term in their life. Of course, this will be changing, and we will also adapt as adults. So you also need to know, I'm certainly know that some of you know, but Google is also developing their AI. It's have a good progress, but they are a little bit late in this race, but they have it, Gemini, and I'm using on my phone for like daily things, and it's much better that was like Siri on iPhone, for example. So I think they are catching, and we are now living in a good period of time, because this is the early stage of AI services and we don't have ads. But I heard that OpenAI hired one lady who will be leading the ads section in ChatGPT. She also implemented ads in Facebook like 7 or 10 years ago. I don't remember. So I think she's task will be to monetize better, because now they are losing a lot of money because they are giving a lot of free power to the users. Now you are not getting irrelevant content compared to Google. So last 5 years or 3 to 4 years, you are getting a lot of irrelevant Google results because of the black cell, SEO, and manipulation of content creation, automatic content creation, and basically you need to go like on the third page of Google to get the answer or to get the stuff that you want. So no SEO tricks for now, but I think that will change because the people will figure out how prompts are working when they let models to learn over the time, then will people exploit that, and they need to make some fences around it. But for now, I think everything is good, and I hope it will stay like that. So we can. I will speak now about how to prepare your internal knowledge base for AI system implementation. So those models can handle a lot type of documents. I know that a lot of you already tried to upload, for example, image in the chat and ask, please describe in this image, or what is on this image, those kinds of stuff. So images, dots, PDFs, TXT, and any structured documents like JSON or MD files can be fed as information to learning the AI to work on your data. So no matter which digital format your data is stored, AI can process it and allow you to communicate based on that information. Currently, we tested, and it's logical to use some kind of CMS to organize your data. And why I'm telling this, and not just to have like Word documents in the Google Drive. So our reasons, what we experienced here in Studio Present and in the Pierre, is that for some people it's still be easier to go through categories, menus, tags, use the information they are looking for. Then when you need to change some document, it's easier to find it through CMS and to change it, because you need to do it on a live document. So physically make the change and to reindex the AI data that you provide. And there is also example with new employees. They need to see the structure of the company, structure of the documentation. They need to be able to see like big picture, so one overview of all the company knowledge. And it is also helping you to save some costs, because you will pay less if you have simplified data, organized data, and then you will not lose too much tokens. The tokens are the fuel of the AI, and basically you are buying tokens. In the private sector, if you are using like pro version, like paid version of ChatGPT, you are paying like $20 per month, and you are not dealing with the tokens. Sometime you will get like, hey, the network is too crowded, get back in 5 minutes. So, but when we are speaking about implementing for example, ChatGPT API to your company, to your system, then you are buying tokens, and it is like prepaid, and then it's like decreasing from your account. Advantages over traditional search systems. So in a traditional search, you will get a document. For example, if you want to try something, want to find some information within some document. In a lot of internet, CMS or public sites, you will get, for example, the name of that file, but still you need to download that file, open that file, and find that specific part that you are looking in that file. Some advanced searches like Google Documents, they can find you exact part in that document also, but that is not so like most common. It is expensive to do like that. But with AI search, this is completely solved, and you are getting, as we already know and already see, a direct answer. You are getting additional information. There are suggestions for future searches or alternative solutions. And also I'm experiencing that I'm learning a lot new stuff when I'm chatting with AI models. So it's much productive way of searching for things or learning something new. I will now focus on the practical examples by sectors. So those are like dummy examples, but I will ask you to imagine in your head your company and your sectors and what they are asking you, what they are asking each other. So we will be covering examples from finance, human research, sales, support, and development, for example. It goes like this, like someone from finance. For example, we have Maria from accounting, has to go through 20 procedures to find how to record a specific transaction, for example. But now Maria can ask AI, how do I record an advance invoice for the international market and and she will receive the precise answer from the internal guidelines, for example, if all the procedures are structured in some CMS. Sales, for example, if customer wants to ask them something about some product, or if that product is compatible with another product, then the sale asks, compare this feature of that product with the competitor product, and they can also receive like instant analysis of that question. So much better information for salespeople, and they can build a better trust with the customers when they know good answer and when they know answer fast. Then, for example, in human resources, it is not rare case that you have new employee in the human resources and also new employee in your company, and that new HR person gets the question from the new employee, when is the like how much months needs to wait before they can use their leave, for example, and then HR person can ask in the chat what are the rules using annual leave for new employees and receive a good answer if you have a good onboarding and the contract of your company and everything fed into the AI system.
And the new employee also can ask by himself.
Yes. This is a good example. We internally have a big onboarding document, and we figure out that a lot of people go through that document first day on the job, and then after 1 year they don't remember like 50% of it, or that even exist. And we 2 or 3 years ago we introduced like additional document where we have all our benefits that you can use as an employee and when you can use those. And this is not something that you need to learn by your mind, but it will be good that you can provide to your customers the chat where they can ask, hey, can I go to gym freely, or how much I need to subsidize gym membership and how much the company will pay, or what is the minimum like medical substitution from the company that I can take, and those kind of stuff. So for those things that are written, it's not important that they need to ask directly HR. So this is like technical question. HR needs to handle like most bigger tasks, like speaking about some problems or similar, not answering like basic already defined rules in the company. Support is I think the biggest user, can be the biggest user of AI, because for example, if you are some telco company and you have a lot of modems or a lot of set-top boxes or those kind of stuff, those information and errors, what can occur, can be everything be saved in some knowledge base. And basically when some customer call the support, that AI models are already that good that they can instantly hear what the customers say, translate that, go through knowledge base, and even when they are speaking, they can find the answer and help the customer immediately, maybe even not involving the support member. Everything can be good in good automation in this moment. And of course, because we are IT company, our programmers using the cloud and ChatGPT, and they are constantly asking for advice, going through internal documentation, and I think in a couple of days we will also implement AI in our GitLab, because it is a good source of things and modules that we develop, especially for the younger members, the juniors, because they can ask immediately, hey, how to do that? Does we implement this? How we are working that? And get the answer straight from the code. And in the code, they can see which developer wrote that, when, and they can ask them about specific in a person, of course, but they can learn much more if they are chatting with the system. So the implementation. So as I mentioned, when the implementation starts, everything needs to be like in a digital format. That is now the norm, and it needs to be categorized and structured within some kind of database, and we can connect your CMS with, as I said, ChatGPT or cloud, or if your company like have some rules that cannot work with American companies, so needs to follow the strictly European rules about GDPR, and or if your company have a lot of sensible information that can be used, some open source model that can be installed on your machine on not some public cloud server. So there are a couple of things like LLama, based on which we have now DeepSeek. So you need to tell us if you want some kind of implementation, and we will ask you about your data, about how much you want to expose your data. Is it only internally for your employees, or any visitor can go through your information? On our implementation on SmartPierre, we let everyone to go to this wiki, because all the information needs to be public, and it can only help everyone who is using our system. It is smart home system, so it needs to be available for everyone. When we are speaking about data security, I already mentioned the recommendation to use like closed models, and if you are using it internally and with information that do not need to go outside from your place, so it's also good to have like two-factor authentication. And for example, you need to be connected through VPN to your workplace and other kind of security measures, but it's mostly depending on how you are feeling about your kind of information that you want to share. Measurable results. So what do you get if your company use some form of AI LLM system? So this can be like if you are using some AI in your work, or is it AI implemented and it's like core service of your work. in both ways. You are saving the time, increasing the productivity, especially in the technical tasks, document creation and preparation, translation things. We are using a lot of tender applications. Now we are building our internal system for tender application, where our goal is to that we can go through many tenders as we can. Now we are limited with the time factor and the people factor, but when we connect this new system that we are developing, it can replace 20 people easily to apply to tenders and go to tenders to see if we can apply to them. And as I mentioned before, the support and sales team can benefit a lot from this kind of implementation. And at the end, it's getting you the customer satisfaction, because you have the good answers, you have the good product, and your employee will be more satisfied because they have opportunity to use in their daily job the power of AI. So it's a similar, if we are comparing digital working space with some people who are using hardware and getting the new tools or the latest tools, they are more satisfied not to use some technology that is 20 years old. Now the hot topic, and on the social media there is a lot of memes about how AI can hallucinate it, and they are so good at it that sometimes they can trick you that the answer is true. So it's a very important that you are expert in a field that you are asking, because large language models, I think they are ashamed to say to you that they don't know something, and because of that they are imagining the answer. So you need to pay attention on those kind of stuff. I'm sure that you are experiencing something like that, where you need to, something is telling you that this is not right, and then you check, for example, on Wikipedia or something like that, and then you see that the answer is not good, the answer is not right. And one good quotation from the guy Bitfalls is that LLMs hallucinate 100% of the time, but they are right 80% of the time. So the 20% can be complete gibberish, or it can be something innovative that bring you up and light your bulbs, and you can be better in your job. So you need to pay attention on it and double check things. So one example is, for example, if you ask who is responsible for procuring office supplies in your company, if we want to speak with our internal documentation, the AI can say some names, for example, but AI doesn't know that, for example, Maria from this example don't work in this company anymore, and the documentation was not updated, and then basically you are getting the wrong answer. So you need to keep your work straight, you need to update your data, because AI is working based on that. So this is one example where it can get you the wrong answer. Then you can ask, for example, for some financial data, and this can also be sometimes wrong, because, as I said, they are ashamed to not know the answer, and AI can add numbers from different reports, which may include preliminary or corrected versions, leading to an inaccurate total. So in this case, or when you ask this kind of sensitive information, and for example you need some information for bank statements or tax statements, it's a good advice that you double check or triple check everything from these kind of things. We can have one example from internal support or internal IT, where he is asking, for example, how to fix the printer on the 3rd floor, and the answer from the AI can be some generic, and it can lead you not to specific version of the printer, or the printer maybe is changed and it's not updated in your database of your equipment. So those kind of things needs to be considered. And how you can protect yourself from this kind of wrong answers or hallucinations. Ask AI to provide the source of the information. So it will tell you if you ask. Check the date of the documents that AI is sitting. And for critical decision, as I said, always verify the information from the original source, and freely ask additional questions to verify the consistency of the answer, because a lot of times AI will tell you, oh sorry I forgot, oh sorry, hey sorry I didn't know that, hey sorry good that you mentioned this to me. So they are in a lot of cases they are not knowing. Basically, in a 100%, they are not knowing what they are doing, but they are succeeding in helping us.
Similar, like humans.
Yes.
You need to ask.
Similar.
Questions.
Yes. My boss have a good example when I'm asking, when he's explaining something to someone, then he is asking that person to explain to him what he understands.
Mm.
So this is a good also. With AI, you can practice that with AI also, and it's also good to develop a healthy skepticism, and the habit of verifying critical information within your company, within your employees. That will help you a lot. So this is the end of this short webinar, and I'm also available, as I said, for the questions and answers. And the next time, I hope we will make some new subject to speak about, and I will like to have like round table, and not me only speaking, but to speak to each other. But now it's time that you can ask the questions. And the last thing, I just want to show you a little bit how one good implementation of Cortex Wiki is attached to the Smart Pierre. And at the end, you can save my email, and Sylvia will send you also the newsletter, and you can write me privately if you have any questions about this, or how we can implement Cortex Wiki to your company, or to help you to implement or to organize the data. So please write me freely, I will be answering you. So I will just open quickly a Wiki Smart Pierre, and then we can get back to question and answers. So I will just give you a quick intro about this Pierre system. So Pierre is the smart home solution. Our sister company developing the software and the hardware for it, and there are also the products that are connected to this software and hardware. So I will keep it simple. This is like you having smart light bulbs, for example, or smart locks, or you want to control your heating and cooling in your home with your phone remotely, or You can have a doorbell with the intercom, and you can answer on your phone if you are on the job. So those kind of implementation Pierre is dealing with. And in this CMS we have a solution list. So this is one database of every solution that Pierre is offering. So there is a access control, camera control, CO2, gas sensors, and so forth. Then we have the part about the application, the mobile application. Then we have the part about the partner application. This is used by integrators, so electricians who are installing the Pierre. And we have the products where basically those are the sensors and controllers and switches and those kind of stuff that are connected to the hardware and to the application. And there is a small portion here on the front page about the project, so already done project where the Pierre is implemented. So imagine those 4 or 5 categories combined into the large language models, and you can ask anything in this chat window from this database. But of course we save the structure of the information for anyone who wants to get specific information about blinds or curtains or brightness sensors. But for example, if you are some DIY enthusiast or you want straight answer immediately, then you can ask here. And of course you can play with this also later after the meeting. I will pass the link into the chat. Just a second. And I will just demonstrate, I think, for example, how to connect brightness sensor with the Pierre controller. And as you see, I misspelled this word. Then there is a help that you can ask on Hungarian, Romanian, English. So as I said before, you can ask on any other language, but all the information are on English. And when you press enter, this is ChatGPT behind this service, and it's now generating the answers like you will ask on their system. And you are getting a good structured answer for all the steps you need to do about the wiring, about the configuration, about testing. And we can implement here also the steps, the images, the links, videos, and everything as you like, but it's depending on your kind of business, what you are doing. We can reference to the specific link, we can reference to specific document, but imagine that you offer this on your page and immediately like 50% of the questions or even more can be handled by chat and not someone who is answering on the phone and explaining something that he or she explained 1,000 times before.
So you can mention how much time does it save to Bertsi, because partners can now ask Wiki specific questions.
Yes, basically before our technical guy Bertolan, he was on the phone like 6 hours a day, but now when he forward the call to the chat, he's getting much more time to deal with the schemes or some new projects or dealing with the complicated bugs. And also the good thing about this is that later you can review in the backend what your visitors asked your system. Based on those questions and based on answers, you can see what you need to improve, or maybe there is a hole where you don't have any answer of the question that people are asking, or they are asking the question that maybe it's not good structured, but it's because your information are not good structured for they kind of mind. So it is good that you can also, like in before Google Analytics, you was able, or Google Ads, you was able to see what the people searching. Now you can see what people asking, basically AI, and you can improve your data based on those questions. So ask me something, hit me if you want to know something. Okay.
So I have a question. Hi.
Hi.
Can I use this also for structuring all the data as a sample on my laptop? I have the last 8 years data on my laptop and so many different data, so many. Sometimes I don't know under which name I saved it.
Mm-hmm.
So can I connect a sample? I don't know, ChatGPT or some other AI with my laptop and say, okay, please make a clear structure or organize all the documents.
Maybe someone from audience can help you here, but I don't have a straight answer. But I know that on the Mac you have this application called Raycast, and it can search through all your files what you have on the computer, and if you ask a good question, you will find the answer. So basically you don't need your data to be organized so much on your laptop if you can find the answer what you want to try. So if you install this Raycast and connect to ChatGPT or Claude, it can help you find the information, but I'm not sure that some tool can organize it for you, but maybe someone from audience can answer.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I think it's Raycast.
So if I understood it right, you are offering also this PR wiki for, let's say, as a closed system.
Yes. So
for companies to, inside a company, especially if you are a producer, you have 30 different products, 50 countries, different languages, licensing, labels, so many things. So,
yes, this kind of company is a great example that can benefit from this kind of implementation. But the most important here in this implementation are to agree about the structuring the data first. So the connecting to AI is the most simple way. First, the biggest job here is to agree on the structure and where all the information and how all the information will be organized.
Mm-hmm. And of course, security. Of course, it should stay inside the cloud, or it shouldn't be public. Yeah.
Yes. Some company, for example, restrict that you can access those kind of data only if you are at premise at the company location. Some company let customers connect remotely, but through the VPN, and some companies.
It's not for customers. It's more for the internal.
I'm speaking about the
workers,
especially employees.
We bought 3 new companies, so to put all these informations together, all the data. So, I'm just realizing how fast and easy it is to work with AI, just with ChatGPT. But now you give me this idea to implement it inside the company, like a major secretary or whatever I can call it.
Yes, that is the goal. But as I said before, so if you are speaking about this level of job, so the preparing the data and dealing with it is like this, and this is only the part where we connect the ChatGPT. But when it's connected, then it's like this kind of opportunity, this kind of helper in the organization. But as many times in a life you need to invest first a lot and then to see the benefits in a 6 months or 3 months after using it. But that first part is the most important, because then you will have good answers. For example, we spent like 8 months, I think, feeding the wiki, Smart PR wiki, right? About, so that we have a good answer. So 8 months, 3 person or 4 persons are constantly writing, feeding, preparing the schemes, uploading PDFs, writing steps, taking screenshots, and that was a huge job. But now it's like working for itself.
So you mean it's a constant developing job. It's not preparing first and then just step by step.
I would say preparing first and then maintaining the data. So just investing 1% of the time. But I can offer you a free consultation. Later we can meet, and I will be gladly to speak about the structure of your data and to help you first organize it.
Perfect. I'll come back to you, Anders. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? I will also check the chats, but okay, then you will all get the information on the email.
I have one more question. Can you tell me something about this CMS to organize the data?
Yes, we are basically the Drupal company, and we are using Drupal CMS for organizing our data. But if you prefer any other CMS, there is like 20 major CMS in the world. We can connect to it, but basically we started using Drupal 15 years ago, and then we stick to it, and for us it's easiest CMS because we know how to do it. But basically it's not so important what kind of CMS. It's most important, it's some kind of database. You have the categories, you can tag things, you can have multiple content types, like kind of data. So, but we are using Drupal CMS. You can search for it later and find out about it.
Okay.
It's similar to WordPress, for example, or there is a ton of CMS out on the market.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So, thanks everyone who was attending, and see you soon. Bye.